Solution to this question by accurate drawing will not be accepted. A circle have equation of x squared plus y squared minus 16x minus 10y plus 73 equal to 0. Find the coordinate of the center of the circle and the length of the radius. Okay. Hence show that the point lie inside the circle. So we have the x squared minus 16x plus negative 8 squared minus the negative 8 squared plus y squared minus 10y plus the negative y squared minus the negative y squared plus 73 equal to 0. So we have the x minus 8 squared plus the y minus 5 squared, and then we have the negative 8 square minus the 5 square plus 73 is 16 equal to 16, and the 16 is actually 4 square. So the center is 8, 5, and the radius is 4. So for these two is the negative 16 over 2. And then for this 2 is the negative 10 over 2. Listen. Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing the computing the square. Okay. So the point here, okay, so 10 minus 8 square plus the 6.5 minus 5 square is the distance between this point and the center. Okay, then we have the square root of 2 square plus 1.5 square. Then it's 2.5. Okay, so 2.5. So this is A, the distance. So this is actually CA. So we know that the center, the circle, is something like this. And then the radius is 4. And then the A, this one is less than 4, less than the radius. Okay. So therefore, this point, okay, 10, 6.5 is within the circle, is within the circle. Okay. Next, a different circle have an equation of this. Show that the two circles touch. You are not required to find the coordinate of the common point. Okay. So just now this one for the first equation, the center is 8, 5, and the radius is 4. Then for this one, the center is 10, 6.5, and then the radius is square root 2.25. So square root 2.25 is actually 1.5. Okay. And then just now we know that the A here is actually the C2, 10, 6.5. Okay, so the distance between the C1, C2 is 2.5. We already find at the part A. Okay, so we know that the this is the distance. So the distance is actually R1 minus R2. Okay, so the 2.5 is actually 4 minus 1.5. Okay, therefore they touch each other. Okay, so these two circles touch each other. Okay, so two circle touch. Okay, we know that the condition for the two circle to touch is when our distance is equal to the R1 minus R2. Okay, one of the radius minus the other radius. or when the R1 plus R2. Okay, so for the this one, okay, for the first case is the graph is like something like this. Okay, so we have the first radius. Okay, so this is the first radius. No, maybe I can have something like this. It's more precise. It's something like this for this case. So you can imagine that the radius for the first circle is 4, and then the radius for the second circle is 1.5, and the distance between the two radius, the two center is the 2.5. So the distance is equal to 4 minus 1.5, then they touch here. Okay, so this is the case. Okay, so when they touch each other, so is this case. Okay, if we have the second case, D equal to R1 plus R2, then it will be something like this. Okay, so we have two circles, and then we have the center one and center two. So we have R1 here, we have R2 here, C1, C2, and then this is their distance. So the distance equal to R1 plus R2, then they touch. And the distance equal to the R1 minus R2, they also touch. So for this question, is actually this case, first case. So, okay, we can extend if our R1 minus R2, okay, R1 minus R2 is greater than D, okay, R1 minus R2 is greater than D, so R1 minus R2 greater than D, then they don't, so less than D, okay, then they don't touch. Okay, so we imagine we have this, and then we have the R1 here, then we have another point here. So this one, we have, this is the D, okay, so the R1 minus the R2, okay, is less than, is greater than D, then they don't touch. Okay, so R2 minus R1 mm, is greater than D. Okay, R2 minus R1 greater than D, then they don't touch. Yes. Okay. And then if we have a case like this, that this they don't touch. So we have a D here. So the D greater than R1 plus R2. Also they don't touch. Okay. So when the R1 minus R2 greater than D, or the R1 plus R2 less than D, okay, uh, okay, uh, so is R2 minus R1 less than D. No, it's less than D. At the same time, uh, the D is less than R1 plus R2, then only they touch. Okay. at 2 point, intersect at 2 point. Okay.